Welcome to researchers versus research data management. It's a love-hate story. Have you ever tried to explain to a young researcher what research data management is? So it's the young researcher who wants to publish yesterday, to win a grant before lunch, to take a nap that doesn't involve dreaming about corrupted C files. Well, I've done it. And let me tell you, it's like asking a squirrel to file a GDPR protection regulation form. Chaotic, enthusiastic, and they consider always that burying in the backyard counts as archiving. And welcome to the official Research versus RDM a love-hate story. But before we dive in, let me present you the cast. We have Dr. Hurry, AI, a postdoc. She automates everything. If it runs, it's code. If it crashes, it's a feature. She always leaves in a final 2 zip. She is Professor Multi-Format Climatologist. She speaks fluent CSCV, PowerPoints, and last minutes Excels. Celsius, Kelvin, it doesn't matter. It's temperature. Mid-doctor, lost in translation, sociologist. His variables have fillings, his number, always trust issues. Together, it's a mixed rom-com where temperature can also mean mood. She is Professor Archivista, comes from cultural heritage. She preserves the past. If the file names stop biting her, it's better than with Dracula. And Fair 2D2, our robot, he automates also everything. And he's also fluent in metadata. He never rests, it's a robot. And this is our full cast, 5 genius minds. What could probably go wrong? Nothing. Everything, it's a love story. We've all been there. Excitement, sky high, deep research ongoing.
This project will change everything.
And welcome to Season 1, the grand proposal, where dreams begin. And it begins with a funding, a EU Horizon Europe funding. Of course, the project has been funded. Now they go international. 14 partners, 12 countries, 4 disciplines, 2 time zones, and various definitions of standard. They all promise to communicate, to work together, in the name, of course, of open science. The schedule is completely full. Wednesday, it's a business travel. Thursday, maybe a deadline, a party, why not? And on Friday, a little icon, DMP, question mark. Well, I think that even the calendar doesn't know when will this happen. Because fair is something that Friday afternoon I will remember. Meanwhile, the emails keep flying. Zoom calls are echoing across our time zones. JSON files are multiplying. And a tiny voice.
Hello. I'm here. I've been waiting for the metadata.
But please stand by. Season 2 comes. This is the breakup, the version control, and the standards. Let's fast forward 6 months.
I need last month's dataset for the training of my AI tool. You know, the final one. The one with the last results. The final two from all the project partners.
And the project partners are answering. The first data set comes from climate science. Well, here every unit has its own climate. We have Celsius for 3 areas, Kelvin for another 4 areas, precipitation in millimeters, and inconsistent units are detected.
All data are stored in PowerPoint slides, PowerPoint slides, PowerPoint slides, PowerPoint slides.
The second data set comes from social sciences. Everything is stored correctly, text files. Some are translated, some are in the original language, and the fillings are all noted to the hurry of time in emoticons.
Emotions. Format not recognized. No emotions format found. The emotion plugin is not installed.
And the third data set comes from cultural heritage. Preserving there, it's a chaos. She zips everything. 3D scans, leader, everything, it's probably stored.
Formats, too many. Metadata, insufficient. Diagnosis, needs fair therapy.
How am I supposed to train an AI on these? Numbers, interviews, 3D scans. It's not data, it's a format buffet. No wonder the poor thing wants therapy. Oh, I need one too.
Metadata, it's cheaper and easier than therapy.
So they all apply for interoperability therapy. At 3 a.m., the robot who never sleeps, fair to D2. Emergency. Dataset breakdown, processing failed again. But luckily, the RDM team is always supporting, and 1 minute later, the interoperability therapy is approved. They all have to agree that they need version control and the same language. A couple of minutes later, Professor Multiformat doesn't understand what is this. It's science. It's Celsius, Kelvin, millimeter. It doesn't matter. It's science, so she doesn't get it. What's the point of all of this? Of course, Dr. Lost in Translation answers in 5 minutes. For him, temperature, it's an emotion. It's about feelings. Couple of minutes later, Dr. Archivista says that for her, temperature, it's a sigh of a stone after a cold night.
3 definitions of temperature. 0 interoperability. Diagnosis. Academic diversity, stage 4.
And yeah, of course, with all this diagnosis, they have to go to therapy. So Dr. Lost in Translation says that his worm, he feels unstructured and hopeful, which, of course, it's a sign of MNS. And MNS, it's the short version for metadata neglect syndrome. It's very common, it can be cured. We can find this by young researchers, so she will be cured. He will be cured. Professor Multiformat feels precise, validated, but anyhow misunderstood. So this is format fragmentation disorder. He has also to go to therapy, to interoperability therapy, and he has to file format surgery. Dr. Archivista feels layered, dusty, irreproducible, which is a sign for archival obsessive-compulsive disorder, and she has to be exposed to various kinds of archiving, different formats, but she will be cured.
Thank you. Emotional interoperability achieved. Error 404. Folder trust not found.
Dear all, too many messages here and apparently no clarification. I think we'll have to untangle this chaos. Would you have the time tomorrow, let's say 9 a.m. Agenda. First, common metadata vocabulary. Second, a single cloud storage for shared datasets. Third, teaching my AI tool not to cry every time it sees mixed file formats. Bring coffee, bring hope. Sincerely, Dr. Hurry.
And somehow all of them agree. Even Fair2D2 sets a timed calendar. It will be soon, in 2 days. But please stand by, we come to the 3rd season. It is called Fairly Ever After. This was the Zoom meeting when everyone agreed what file formats are. The climatologist and the sociologist agreed that temperature can also be a number and a feeling. Dr. Archivista started archiving in a repository, not in a Forbidden Bytes folder, because every time she said, "I'll take a byte," no one knew. Is she referring to a byte, to a folder, to a storage form, or to a Dracula byte? Because, let's be fair, a love story, it's fair only when we know where the other one is. It's accessible, it has to be accessible in the name of open science, interoperable when we find a common language, and reusable because every data love story deserves a second chance. FAIR isn't just bureaucracy. It's a therapy, a fair therapy for your data. The Excel files have started to talk to the CSV. They opened up, and the pictures went to Metadata Academy for metadata manners.
At first, I saw only chaos. Endless JSON files, buried deep in forgotten folders. Curly brackets, numbers, but no meaning. Then something changed. I was learned to look beyond the code, to read the metadata, the DOI, the context. Now I can truly read the JSON file, because I can read what project it belongs to, who created it, and why it matters.
So they all realized that FAIR, it wasn't about changing who they were, but learning how to speak FAIR.
Compatibility achieved.
Now that our data speaks FAIR, my AI can finally do what it's meant to, learn from all of us. The files aren't fighting anymore, they are collaborating. It's beautiful and only slightly terrifying.
They say that no love story is perfect. Yeah, this love story might not be perfect, but it's persistent. It has a DOI and a README file. And that's when we know that the future of science might be automated, but it still needs fair-minded humans. And at the end, they all cheered in the name of fair data, because they understood that everything is about communication and not about converting in something that they are not. And now I want to raise a glass and to cheer to everyone who ever renamed a file final, really final. May your research live fairly ever after. May your backups be complete, because at the end, the data management plan, or the research data management plan, wasn't the villain, but was the one who cared enough to stay till the end. And this is the behind the scenes of us. Thank you.